Becoming a radiant receiver of love. July 17, 2014. Beautiful bright hearts, we witness so many precious children of God rushing here and there trying to accomplish everything fast. Any quest on your spiritual journey will not be as fulfilled as you think by rushing your steps. Many quests can take years to achieve. There is no overnight or quick fix to raising your frequency or accomplishing certain endeavors as others may have you believing. Yet for those that do want to raise their frequency quickly, the best way is to stop pretending what you are not and begin doing what you are meant to be doing. Become the unconditional loving soul you were designed to be. We know many will roll their eyes sarcastically, wanting to only hear what they can do that doesn't require constant, daily and loving effort to the self and to all other people. It is not an impossible task or goal, it is a reachable goal. All of you are meant to love. There is no prettying up the words. Simply speaking, you are meant to be love and to share love, and not the kind of love that attaches to a person or thing. You are meant to just love. And when you love this purely, without attachment, you are also loving God and sharing His precious love and light to where, to whom, and to what is receiving your unconditional love. Remember, each of you were meant to be both a receiver and a source of unconditional love. This ability has been gifted to each of you, and is an essential and natural part of who you are. What we do see is how many beautiful bright hearts have forgotten this essential and vital part of who they are, and that just loving is what they were meant to do. And even worse, they confuse love by attaching it with emotions, making everything personal when pure love that is unconditional is largely impersonal, because you are just loving. You are radiating love. Each of you were created to be a major part of a great flow of love, a kind of love that has the ability to touch and affect everyone and everything simply from the purity of your kind and loving gesture. And all this loving is being shared into you from God, and when you share any amount of unconditional love, God's love is also flowing through your loving actions, thoughts, words, feelings, intentions, and even your choices. When you are radiating love, beautiful bright hearts, you are willingly participating in a great action of God's love that you become glowing with, as you receive His endless love and infinite light. You then have God in you, working through and flowing through you in every activity and thought that is based naturally and authentically with pure and unconditional love. When you open yourself to God with your heart wide open, you quite simply become a radiant receiver. The more your own feminine and masculine polarities embrace His energy and come to a peaceful balance, the greater amount of love you'll be able to receive and to radiate, helping to raise your frequency even higher. Love has always been the way to love when you don't feel like it with those you may not normally share your love with. Love has no discriminations. In the divine process of waking your loving nature, your newly found experience that unites you with God also increases love in more places than just where you are. When you are able to comprehend the enormity of God being in every single person and thing, you begin to understand when you share your radiating love that is pure and unconditional, you are able to hold the object of your love in your consciousness. This is pure focus, beautiful bright hearts, and your loving experience shared with them increases the level of love being shared and felt. Try to remember that the love that you and the one receiving the love is really experiencing God through you, no one else. If you think you are feeling love from someone else, in truth what you are feeling is not the other person, but the divine radiance coming from God. This provides a more profound experience of the attunement with God being in each of you. This kind of experience, dear ones, helps to accustom to the great flow of love that God continuously radiates. The only true, pure love is God's love. As we said in the beginning of today's transmission, is that you are meant to be love. To enhance this, you are meant to love in the capacity God loves. You are meant to share and radiate love to all people all the time, not just when you feel like it or if the day before you is sunny. Remember, love does not discriminate, nor does it hold any prejudice. Love is able to be felt by all when it comes through purely and with the highest of intentions. You don't love someone or something because they are it, deserve it or not, because when you love as God does, then all deserve it. When you love the people and the things, you are loving God. No matter how much fondness that may be cultivated towards the form you have created that is God in another person, the love you share is never found from outside yourself. It must come deeply from within. The experience of loving, purely and unconditionally, provides you with the experience of the movement of God's love through you. You become His love receiver and radiator. You are then participating in the sequential cycle of love that is purely derived from God to be shared with God, who is apparent in all people and things. One thing you need to understand, beautiful bright hearts: you can't begin radiating love until you first receive it from someone else. That will ignite and initiate your intention to become a continuous flow of love, even when you don't feel like it. To love is natural, an intrinsic part of who you are. To turn away from love is to turn away from your true self and from God. If you feel you're out of alignment, and your masculine and feminine polarities needs balancing, the best way to adjust this is through love. Loving the parts of you that are in balance and loving the parts of you that are imbalanced, focusing your loving attention on healing these areas. Your loving intention towards your inner self and balance of polarities will help raise your vibrations even higher than before as you are radiating the love you gave to yourself, receiving God's love in the process. The process that brings you to loving unconditionally is quite magical. It can bring you to so many wonderful experiences, even some that are challenging. When you are open to give love, you are also open to receive love. As we have repeated a few times, when you are radiating love, you love even when you are grumpy, sick, or not in the mood, because God is always in the mood to share His love. When you share your love during your moody moments, you raise your frequency, and your feeling of joy is increased. The more you love others and love yourself, even when you began not in the mood, you'll experience more of God's love, and you'll still be doing what you were created to do. To love all and everything unconditionally as God loves you and everything. Can you imagine how it would be if God took on an ill-natured attitude and withheld His omnipresent life force, His love, or His light? It would be devastating to say the very least. God is a gracious giver of light and love. When He loves, it's always impersonal and always unconditional. Even during the times you don't think you deserve love, He flows His love above you, through you, and all around you. Many people are not aware of the love that is radiating around them. They are unaware of His divine presence, but He loves them regardless. He loves each of you regardless what you think of Him, or what you do in your life. His love is always there, never ending. His love encourages you to love in the same capacity, loving unconditionally with His radiance pouring out from all pores. It is important to understand that the people of 1,000 years ago, generally speaking, were really no different than the people of today. There will be some that will remain faithful to God, to His Son, and then there will be others that will continue to remain unaffected by the death of Jesus and what His death stood for. When you are radiating love and sharing this love wherever you go, every home you enter then becomes a home filled with God and His energy. Love and light does affect all things. Don't deprive yourself the knowledge God shares with you when you are joined, loving all and everything wherever your feet take you. His love is the key to all your many adventures not yet walked. When you trust in Him and in His presence in you and in all other people and things, life itself becomes glorious and love-filled. Appreciate the life you have. Consider yourself deeply blessed, as there are many in the world who wish they had what you do. Give your undivided attention to loving yourself and to loving others in the same capacity God loves. Your ability to love unconditionally will transform your life. Receive God's presence with gratitude. Make a home for God's body in your own, in order to radiate such great divine and unconditional love to the people of the world. Raise the frequency of your love so high that it is able to penetrate fear and hopelessness that many dear souls are inflicted with. Become the blessed giver of love that you were intended to be. Let your love be the Calvary for the sons, daughters, and creatures of God. Radiate beautiful bright hearts all that you are, in love and with God. So the next time you are pushed aside by a rushing pedestrian or someone cuts you off in traffic while you two are trying to get to work or somewhere else, don't withhold your love during these instances. Focus on love in all instances and radiate your love in all places. By doing so you'll reduce your own frustration of the moment and rise your frequency of love in the meantime. If you allow yourself to be moved in the direction of frustration and anger, then you'll be pulling away from the source of your love and from your true self. As you move with the flow of frustration and anger, you remove yourself from that beautiful cycle of God loving God and others that you were designed to do. Therefore, instead of going with the flow of the frustrated, angry feelings, turn that situation around as being an opportunity to radiate your love. What is needed is not more judgment and reaction. What is needed in such situations that stimulate negative responses is more love. When a situation gets out of hand, simply take a deep breath, control your ego by centering yourself in the truth of the situation, for what it simply is, then realign yourself with God and begin radiating love as God has intended you to do and to be. Love each situation, each person, and each thing as purely and unconditionally as you were intended to do. The feeling you receive is beautiful, and you'll want it to never end, and it will never end as long as you are the continuous, radiant giver and receiver of love and God, loving God in all things and people. And so it is. I'm Ascended Master, Lady Nada through Julie Miller. SpiritualNetworks.com